Alright guys, now let's work how to differentiate cot x, y is equal to cot x using first principles. So the first stage again goes like what? I need to increment x as what? X plus delta x, and y as y plus delta y. Very simple. Substitute this guys here. I'll get y plus delta y is equal to cot of x plus delta x. Very simple. Right? Now, I need to keep delta y on one side. It goes on the other side. That is cot x plus delta x minus y. And who's y? Y is cot x, my question, right? So now what happens? Delta y is equal to so much. So what is this guy looking like? Can I split this guy using that formula? Cot x is also given as cot theta is given as what? Cos theta by sin theta, right? So I can write this guy as what? Cos of x plus delta x by sine of x plus delta x, yep, minus cos x by sin x. Now what do you think you should do here? I have to take LCMs and add them. Very simple. So take the LCM. What do you get? I have delta y on left hand side. LCM here would be sine x plus delta x into sin x. And that guy goes like, I have cos of x plus delta x into sin x minus, I write sine of x plus delta x into cos x. Alright, that's what I have. Now, this guy is looking like a formula. I need to rearrange this guy because I have a formula like sin A cos B and cos A sin B. Alright, this guy sin A cos B, cos A sin B. I have cos and sin. This works with cos, but with sin, the formula has to be sin first, then cos. So in this case, I'll just rearrange this guy. I'll just write sin x into cos of x plus delta x. It looks like sin A cos B minus cos A first. So cos of x into sine of x plus delta x. That's it. Alright. So this should look like that formula. Sin A, cos B, cos A, sin B. So first sine, then cos, then sine. So now, in this, who is A? A is x. And who is B? This whole thing is B. So what happens with the formula here? Denominator is still there. We'll write sine of x plus delta x into sin x. Okay, fine. Now see what happens here. I can write this guy as sine of A minus B, or x minus x plus delta x. Now please take a bracket here. If not, you'll go wrong. Alright. So that divided by, I have sine of x plus delta x into sin x. Yep. Now let's see what happens here. Delta y is here. Then I can see it is sine of x minus delta x. Yeah. Look at that. The sine of x plus delta x into sin x. That remains same. I can see here there's a minus sign for both of them. This goes off. I am having delta y. I can write here. Okay, delta y is sine of minus delta x. So now this guy minus, right? It's important. This is what makes the negative sign come out in the answer. Delta x into sine x. Now, how do you write sine of minus theta? Sine of minus theta is minus sine theta, and you should know for your information, cos of negative theta is cos theta itself. Okay, this I've done in the third chapter. All right, in basic trigonometry, you can understand that. So for right now, you can remember that, and let's continue the problem. Right, I have delta y to be equal to minus of sine delta x, the whole thing divided by sine x plus delta x into sine x. Alright, fine. That's what we have. Now it's time to divide both sides by delta x. Right, so I'll divide this also by delta x. So now what happens here? Let me write minus 1, and this guy is sine x plus delta x into sin x, and now my worry is basically to eliminate delta x in denominator. So I'll bring these two guys together, sine delta x by delta x. Why? So because this guy would look like that formula, right? Sine theta, limit of this formula which says limit of theta tends to 0 sine theta, the whole thing divided by theta is 1. So I need to get something like that so that I can write eliminate delta x from denominator. So I have this. Now can I apply limits? Third stage, yes. So I write delta y by delta x, well, limit of delta x tends to 0, and here I have limit of delta x tends to 0, this guy, that is minus 1 by sine x plus delta x into sin x, yes, and limit of delta x tends to 0, sine delta x by delta x. Now what happens here? This guy looks more like 1, that formula. So what happens here? I can apply the limits, right? Delta x tends to 0. Here I can put 0. So I'll get minus 1 by sine x into sine x, and I have this as 1. So what about this guy? This is minus 1 by cosecant squared, or I can write sine squared x. Sine x into sine x is sine squared x, and once sine squared goes up, it becomes minus cosecant squared x, and that's the answer of differentiation of cot x. Alright, very simple. This problem and the previous problem, that is tan x, they are same except for the negative sign which comes up here, and the negative sign comes from here. Alright, minus, you need to take a bracket here. Be careful of this place. Right, you need to take a bracket here and rearrange this guy in such a way that you get sine and cos and sine. Okay, these are the details you should be knowing while deriving it from the first principles. Alright, and you should know this formula. That's all about it. Right, let's go ahead.